be told, every champion has felt it. Every president has felt it. Every king has felt it. Every lion has felt it. Every winner has felt it. Every soldier has felt it. Every victorious person has felt it. The urge to quit.
Crossroads, life's tolls, life goes. I gotta win. W my lockdown. You can't rewind.
Hey, how are you guys doing today? This is your host, Sonya, with the Remember Who You Are 222 podcast. I have my guest, Dagmar, here with us today. How are you doing today?
Very good. Thank you so much for having me here.
Yeah, thank you for coming on. I'm definitely excited to have this conversation. So just to introduce her a little bit more to you guys. So basically, she is a quantum success mentor, an international speaker, and a 3-time best-selling author who helps high-achieving entrepreneurs and leaders break through emotional and energetic blocks so they can expand their impact and income with ease. She's originally from Poland. Her journey began in the corporate world where success was all about doing more and pushing harder until she realized that real success isn't about hustle, it's about alignment. That discovery led her to develop her signature triple quantum reset modality, which helps people clear subconscious resistance and rewire their energy for abundance. She's also the founder of the Athena Circle, a global community for women who are ready to lead with soul, embody their truth, and rise in their divine feminine power. Dagmar blends mindset mastery with spiritual principles, guiding others to tap into their higher consciousness and create results that feel both prosperous and purposeful. So that's awesome. I definitely can relate with, having been in the world and pushing, and then finally realizing that it's more about alignment. So can you tell our listeners more about your story and what led you to doing what you do now?
I had a traditional corporate career. Actually came from an ex-communist country, Poland. So when I arrived into United States, I thought, wow, this is wonderful. I can pursue my dreams. And I did. I had, a very robust career in global business development. I even started my own global consulting company, which was doing phenomenal. But as the time progressed, I felt like I was losing myself in these business strategies, and my true essence wasn't shining through. So through the moment of divine inspiration, I downloaded the modality called the Triple Quantum Reset. And this really was the beginning of my own reset in my life, because my life took the 180-degree switch, a quantum leap. From that point on, I realized that I had to use my unique abilities to help people understand why we struggle, why we get stuck, why we have these big visions and big dreams, but never feel worthy of them, or feel like we don't have what it takes, or not worthy of receiving the prosperity, impact, and influence that we desire. So my modality helped me understand how our upbringing, our emotional core wounds, painful hurt, memories, are weaved throughout our lives and cause us to unconsciously self-sabotage. From that point on, I started Unlock Your Success mentorship programs for entrepreneurs. And down the line in 2020, I had a vision of Palace Athena that instilled this desire in me to create a community for women who are conscious entrepreneurs and conscious leaders, where we can combine our professional growth with personal expansion and spiritual evolution. So this is what we've been doing ever since, guiding conscious entrepreneurs and leaders to embrace their divine mission.
I love that. Do you, because I feel like everyone I've talked to that's had like a big mission, has gone through a lot of like hardships in their life. I know you mentioned Poland being the ex-communist country. Would you mind speaking about some of that?
Absolutely. So, in every hardship, there's a gift. We just have to understand it. And usually we don't see the seeds that have been planted during the difficult situations. I know your story yourself brought you into this amazing ability to work with others. And I had a similar experience. Growing in a communist country, we were told that poverty is a value, um, struggle is a virtue, and we had to keep our heads down, not to stand out. So when I came to America, I thought that this is the land of freedom. I can do anything I want, and I did. I had a lot of success in my professional career, enormous financial success in my global consulting company until one day. One day I woke up and I started feeling unworthy of my own success because I was making more money with more ease and so little effort than anyone I knew back growing up. And it felt wrong. It almost felt like I expanded too fast, too easily from my own comfort level. And these old stories of you shouldn't be visible, just, try to stay pretty much under the radar. And, why would you be making more money than your father ever did? All these old stories kicked in, and I started sabotaging my own success. I would go to trade shows and not follow up with leads that I received, or I would perform work as a consultant and not even charge my clients for the work I performed. In other words, I was pushing money away. And as I was going through this dark night of the soul, where I was trying to understand why something that was part of my childhood would play like a record that just keeps going on a repeat. This was that moment of divine inspiration where I perceived the energetic reason, the frequencies of all these disempowerment moments in our lives and how they imprint us so deeply that we end up projecting the limiting belief and that disempowerment like a radio station. And per law of attraction, what you emit is what you're going to remit. That's what you're going to get back. So when we have this unworthiness running through our emotional and mental tracks, unfortunately, we start projecting it onto reality. And that's when self-sabotage kicks in.
Yeah, I understand that completely. It is pretty interesting how, I do feel like at least I haven't grown up in any other countries at all. My mom is from Korea, but I know growing up in America, I was always taught, work hard, work hard, work hard. And so it was like I grew up in that hustle culture where I became successful and I ran a couple different businesses. But then it was always me doing it for these other men that I was with. And then so anytime that situation would end, the business would end. And so that was the same thing with my most recent relationship. We had a business together. We had owned homes together. And but that was my biggest wake up call where I basically had to realize like what my soul's mission was here and to build it myself. So I feel like I have been going through that period. I'd seen visions of me speaking on stages. And I think at first when I saw that, I was trying to go too fast. But in slowing down, I realized that everything happens in divine timing. And just because, I'm not doing it right now doesn't mean it's not going to happen in the future. I just have to take care of all of the, this whole year has been like a whole year of digging in my own subconscious and basically just having a different relationship with my emotions, all the different things. And so it's interesting that you self-sabotage. So what happened after that? Like once you realized you were self-sabotaging?
Well, you made a very good point. We can only expand to the capacity of holding that expansion emotionally, mentally, and energetically. So, what I was able to realize through this moment of divine inspiration or divine download is that I simply had to give myself permission and allow success by releasing my own limitations that said, you can only go that far before you are too visible. And this is something that is universal. This is not just restricted to one geography, one culture, one society. We all have these unconscious breaks that are implanted in our mind that say it's safer to be small. It's safer to hide. It goes all the way back to tribe consciousness, cave times when we really depended on a group for survival. But today we can actually give ourselves permission to burst through that concept. Today it is safe to be visible. Today you can be a single mother and take care of your child and run a podcast, which kudos to you and all the listeners who are single mothers. So for me, that was a turning point where using my own modality, I was able to reprogram my mind for expansion, for growth, visibility, boldness, taking risks. And from that point, I launched Unlock Your Success mentorship programs, and the rest is history. Essentially, I allowed myself to step out of that hustle, work harder, you need to earn everything mentality, and instead go into flow, allowing myself to become magnetic, to attract clients instead of constantly recruit them, to align myself with opportunities, to feel very authentic in who I am. So it's very comfortable, whether speaking on podcast or on my YouTube channel or running events for the Athena Circle, it's simply always me. There's a comfort in it, and it's easy to attract more people who are your soul tribe when you are a true embodiment of who you are.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I had to go through that. I had to go through a whole phase of people falling away in my life and then basically attracting people that are more aligned. And so I do feel like I've attracted a lot more people in this space. And
Well,
so
because it's a frequency match, right? Per law of attraction, we're constantly projecting signals. And when we allow our intuition to guide us more than our logical brain, that's when synchronicities start to occur. And so easy to find your tribe. By the way, when people drop out of your life, it's a good thing. They were not right for you. They were not the right mix, not the right frequency. They don't follow your vision. They're not supporting you. That's okay. Allow different crowd to come forward. The people that will appreciate you, the ones that are attracted to who you are, what your vision is, what your mission is. So you're not losing anything. You're just gaining a new community.
yeah. Merry Christmas, Mama. Merry
And we're
Christmas.
gaining a visitor
Yeah.
and a new listener in our podcast.
Yeah, he likes to come say hi sometimes.
Yeah. He's being trained to be a host.
Yeah. Yeah, he might end up being one day. Especially with how the times are flowing. A lot more younger people. Well, the younger people are coming in more activated, and their DNA is already more activated. So I really believe that he's gonna be one of those kids.
Absolutely, yes. He's a host in training.
Yeah.
And that's something that you're mentioning that I think more and more people are going to be awakened to,
Mhm.
and that's the fact that uh, we are all asked to step into our own spiritual awakening, to
Mhm.
truly allow evolution of our consciousness.
Yeah.
And young people, especially the children that are born, they come, we can say, enhanced. They're more open to
Mhm.
remembering who they are and not allowing the societal conditional, the programming
Mhm.
to dim that unique light that they're bringing in.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And he's one that has a lot of energy too. So I know some people look at that as a bad thing, but I don't see that. I see that he has a lot of light that he's trying to let out. But yeah, so that's it's definitely interesting hearing. So tell me more about some of um the modalities that you use, and you talked a little bit about the Athena Circle, but what about the other modality that you?
So the triple quantum reset is based on an understanding that a lot of reasons why we are stuck, why we're not moving forward, goes way below the level of the subconscious mind. It is popular notion that the limiting beliefs are coming from your subconscious, and it's correct. But what's missed is that there is another deeper layer, and that is the layer of energetic imprints. What that
Mhm.
means is that imagine you were a little kid and you wanted to play with other kids in a sandbox, but they
Mhm.
rejected you. They laughed at you, they told you to go away.
Mhm.
So, as you were experiencing that situation, you exuded most likely a lot of negative emotions like anger that you're not allowed to be part of the group,
Mhm.
sadness that you are rejected, hurt, fear, even shame and guilt, resignation. Now, these emotions are very charged, so they permeate our body and start emitting that frequency of disempowerment, of being rejected. And then
Mhm.
you go through life, and in order to validate the pain that you felt during that time, and to protect yourself from possibly experiencing it again, what you end up doing is recreating the sandbox situation. And you do
Mhm.
that by sitting in a boardroom, and when somebody asks you a question, that person may retract because they remember what it felt to stand out and say, "Can I join you?" So now the person is actually running the program, "I'm rejected," and keeping herself or himself from speaking up before even any pain occurred, just to
Mhm.
prevent. So that pattern energetically is encoded so deeply in the mind that just using an affirmation that says it's okay to speak up, it's okay to ask to be part of the group, is not going to override it. We
Mhm.
have to go down to that level, release these energetic entanglements, the emotions of sadness, shame, guilt, fear, hurt, and only after purge of that emotional backlog, the subconscious mind is primed for you to think differently about yourself. This
Mhm.
is when we come in and start creating brand new concept of who you are. We
Mhm.
literally are building new pathways, new roads in your brain, new neurological pathways that say, "I am capable, it is safe to be me, it is safe to show up boldly." And only then we go into the third aspect of the triple quantum reset, and it is to modify your behaviors, because most people run on automatic and they don't even know it.
Right.
Those traditional behaviors that we do that are so ingrained that we don't even perceive them. So it is a layered approach for deep and permanent healing, because once all the energy is gone, your frequency changes, your subconscious mind is able to create new empowering concept of who you are and what you're capable of achieving, and you're now are able to take a massive, bold, inspired action that actually doubles your incomes, attracts more clients, creates clarity about who you are, what you want to achieve, and how you show up.
Yeah, I love what you said, because I feel like the way you put it too is easier for people to grasp as well. Because it is a lot of people, like I was even running on subconscious, my subconscious patterns from my root wounds, probably up until a couple years ago. And even still this year, this year was like really the first time I've been conscious of my own wounds, and when they've happened, I've been able to like change them. But it's definitely like a daily work. So
Well, the human mind is designed to create limitation. I'm sorry to say that, not expansion, but limitation. It is a protective mechanism. Again, think back to cave times. If you always went to the right to pick up berries, then your brain registered that your path to the right of the cave is safe and secure. But fast forward 2-3 years, you've eaten all the berries that were available on the right side of the cave, and now you're starving. Yet your brain is saying the left path is unfamiliar. Do not proceed. So you end up just lying in cave and starving yourself to death, right? And that's because your brain wants to always anticipate danger. There's part of the brain called amygdala, which is part of your limbic system, that is continuously scanning for potential threat to your survival. And when we allow that part of our brain control how we show up in the world, then we start creating limiting beliefs that we believe are saving us from danger. For example, somebody comes to you and says, we would like you to speak to an audience of 10,000 people. Well, the typical person at that moment is going to go into panic. 10,000 people, what am I going to say? What if they judge me? What if they don't like my accent? They don't like how I speak? What if I make fun of myself? And this will be permanent. People will laugh at me forever. So the brain is trying to protect you from perceived danger of other people's judgment, and is pulling you back, and you end up saying no to the opportunity. So from the standpoint of your brain, it's protecting you. From the standpoint of entrepreneurship, leadership, and expansion, you just took a step back when you should have leaned in. So everything we do for my modality is to change how your brain operates. We want it to lean in to the unknown with curiosity, with confidence, with boldness, instead of stepping back.
Right. Basically creating more heart-brain coherence.
Exactly. And again, it's just understanding that a lot of what we perceive as danger nowadays is not a real threat. My favorite quote comes from a movie of Will Smith called After Earth. I've watched it multiple times. I absolutely love it. And in that movie, he teaches his son, real son, who's also playing a son in the movie. And he says, fear's in your mind, and I'm paraphrasing, danger is real, but fear is an expectation of something that has not happened and may not even happen in the future. So when we start distinguishing between an actual danger, where it's a threat to your biological being, versus fear, which is, I'm not sure how to step into the unknown, because that's really what fear is, this uncertainty and a pullback. Then we can actually train our brain to lean in. I usually tell my clients that if a new opportunity comes across you and you have that tightening of your stomach and feeling like your throat can't speak and there's no saliva in your mouth, that's actually your body telling you that you're about to do something cool, something big, something new that will create brand new results. So, what if you interpret that sign as positive instead of taking it as a sign that I need to retreat? Again, everything in our reality is simply a perception. Everything is an interpretation and judgment. Life by itself is completely neutral. We can always almost say uneventful. What makes life eventful is how we interpret the situations that we're in.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that 100%. It's like things that seemed bad, you can always reprogram your brain to actually get excited for it. Like
And
the chaos.
maybe it's not bad. It's just unfamiliar.
Mm-hmm.
And there are bad situations. A lot of people carry wounds from childhood, from relationships, and they are real. But my desire for my clients and for everyone in general is to reclaim their power, to know that every challenge that you've gone through had nuggets of wisdom. They taught you how to own your power, how to claim your voice, how to stand for what's right for you. And that is beautiful. If you can take that wisdom and remove all the negative aspect of it, then what's left is a graduation ceremony. You've gone through the experience. It wasn't that pleasant, but today you're so much wiser and smarter for it. Take that and own this like a badge of honor.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what I feel like I've done with my story. At least I feel like I've been able to use it. I don't want to say heal from it, because I don't believe that we necessarily need healing. I think it's just activations and stuff, and basically learning lessons. And so now I'm able to be thankful of the bad situations I've been in, because it actually, made me who I am today, and I'm able to help people with my story.
Absolutely. And activations is exactly what we do in the Athena Circle, because at certain point, it is okay to stop healing, just like you said, and start expanding. We have within us capacity to do things you've never done before. My career in a global business development was really rewarding. I loved what I did, but from the perspective of time, it was using 10% of my brain capacity. It was that easy for me. The moment I started following my soul calling, and I started working with entrepreneurs through my acceleration programs, Unlock Your Success, and through the Athena Circle, I was able to tap into innate gifts and talents that I did not even know I possessed. And that is the beauty of women who start owning their dreams, owning their soul mission. A lot of members of my community end up quitting their corporate careers, opening their own business. We've got lawyers who become speakers. We have accountants who write books and publish their stories to the world. It's because the more we embody the true essence of who we are at the soul level, the more unstoppable we become. We become so creative. And part of the big mission of the Athena Circle, which focuses on women in particular, is for us to allow this divine feminine power of creatrix, of being able to manifest our desires, to really enhance how we run this divine feminine energy. Because for so many centuries, women have permeated themselves with more masculine power, masculine operating system, to the point where I think somewhere down the line we started losing ourselves in that energy. So now the consciousness is inviting us to go back, to become goddesses, being open to receive, to magnetize and attract clients instead of trying to recruit them and get them. So it's more of being a receptive, magnetic, brilliant in who you are, and allowing the universe to support us in our journey.
So I have a question after you mentioned that, because I do know that, you know, when you start to get in your divine feminine energy, you do, become more magnetic, you rest more, you actually like take inspired action. And so where would you say that you would actually use your masculine when it comes to doing that? Because is there a such thing as being too much in your feminine?
Every energy, both masculine and feminine, have their own shadow, right? That's the part of the duality consciousness. My invitation to women is to focus on divine feminine embodiment, because your energy already has all the aspects you need. For example, traditionally, it's a masculine energy that is associated with strength. So I'm going to ask you, since you're a mother, would you agree that the strength to deliver your child would equal, if not surpass, physically a strength of any man? We know instances of women who are able to pick up a car because their child get run over or is underneath. So the feminine energy can be just as strong. The difference that I invite for women to embrace is that when you bring your consciousness into your body and allow yourself to step out of the hustle and grind, which is very masculine, you will still become very creative. You will still take lots of inspired action, but that action will be in a flow. And what that means is that instead of swimming against the current, you're going to swim with the current. So the possibilities will show up faster and easier. In other words, each frequency, whether masculine or feminine, has the entire gamut of expressions. The men do not have to borrow from women to feel intuitive. Women don't have to borrow from men to be strong. Each of us has 100% full frequency that allows us to explore who we are from various angles. And that's the beautiful part. But most, I think in general, that there is a confusion a lot of times when it comes to our gender roles, because again, we've been living under dominance of the masculine energy for thousands of years. So all this rise of consciousness, the female leadership, is not coming to subdue the masculine energy. Quite the opposite. We're coming to the point of balance where women can reclaim their feminine energy, men can come with their strong protective energy, and together we can merge into that beautiful yin and yang coming perfectly together.
Right. I love how you said that too, about balance, because I do believe like it's just been so long, like masculine and feminine have been in their like wounded energies basically, and not in their empowered energies. So it's just
Yeah,
about bringing that balance back.
lots of confusion. My
Mhm.
invitation to our listeners who are female is to start by really bringing the essence of who they are down into the womb area. It could be as simple as taking your hands and putting them over your uterus, and allowing yourself to drain your consciousness down, because that is the seat of our feminine expression. And for eons of years that we've been on this planet, there has been a lot of dogma and shame put into women and their sexuality, and how we show up in the world. There are cultures that actively try to accuse us for our femininity. So just by reclaiming that seat of our feminine power, by bringing your energy and bringing it down to your womb area, you're able to give yourself permission to show up as a goddess that you are.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. Definitely getting more into our bodies, and that was one thing I've had to get in. I feel like I was so like disconnected from my own body for so long, and just this year just getting to know my body better, and getting into my womb space and my heart space more has just made a complete difference in my life already. So
Well, most people actually are not embodied. And what I mean by that is a lot of times the soul is hanging outside because the reality that we live in is unpleasant. And there's a
mhm.
lot of stress and a lot of expectations. So it's natural that most of us kind of eject the soul, which is really high vibration of love and compassion, collaboration, and the soul does not want to sit in this icky reality, right?
Yeah.
So that disconnection between body and soul embodiment shows up in our manifestations, because you manifest in the reality that you reside in, and that reality is very third dimensional, which
Mhm.
means if you want to manifest a car, you actually need a body to drive that car, right? Until
Yeah.
we start using our mind. But if you're not bringing your soul essence into your body, your magnetism is greatly reduced. You simply don't have the power to collapse the quantum wave. And
Mhm.
what I mean by that, you don't have power to attract what you visualize and collapse it into the actual physical matter. So, embodiment, being okay with residing within your body, pulling your soul essence daily, is paramount for your manifestation and for the speed with which you manifest your desires.
Mhm. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I didn't even think about it that way until you said that, our soul being outside of our body. um,
Well,
because of
it's we can say it doesn't like what's going on down here, so it's hanging
yeah.
out there. But unfortunately, it also produces physical disease. Our body is animated through our soul essence. So, a lot of people who are not inside their body, mostly those who went through severe trauma or very painful experiences, they will manifest physical illnesses because the body just doesn't have a lot of vital frequency that animates it. By the way, in the Athena Circle, we run quantum activations almost monthly, and anyone is welcome to join our events. And with each activations, we pull your own soul essence, your own soul signature into your body, and expanding your biological vessel so that it can hold more of your light quotient, which in turn increases your intuitive abilities, increases your magnetism, creates enormous clarity about who you are, what your goals are in life, and life simply becomes so much easier.
Okay, baby.
Our co-host is definitely
Yeah,
participating. Hello.
he took his shirt
Oh,
off.
look at that gorgeous angel.
Silly.
A little cherubim.
Yeah. But yeah, okay. So the Athena Circle, I love that. And you have your QR code right here, right, for people to scan and be able to get a hold of you.
Absolutely. So I invite everyone to visit dagmarfleming.com. Is just my name, and it will lead you to both unlock your success and the Athena Circle. But also here on the screen, I have access to my quiz on what stage of spiritual awakening you are in. This is fun, really fast, but it will help you understand in your soul's evolution, in your journey, where are you right now? What are the symptoms? What are the signposts of how to get to the next stage? So just use the QR code here, and I will include a direct link in the description to this show.
Okay, I love that. That's awesome. Like a quiz for that. Okay. All right. Well, we are coming to the end of the transmission, but there's a closing wisdom question I usually ask people, and also whatever else you wanted to add on to it. But what if you would say that there's one truth of our divinity? What would that one truth be?
The true divinity is already inside you. Most people look externally for confirmation of who they are, why they are here on this planet. You cannot find it outside of yourself. As within, so without. Everything within your body is the microcosm of the galactic macrocosm. We are literally a fractal of this universal consciousness. So when you connect with your spirit team, with your guides, with your angels, just remember they are already within you. We don't need to seek the divine consciousness outside of ourselves. And then I invite you to get fired up, because when you follow your passion, when you follow your dreams, that's when you become most magnificent, most fulfilled, and most importantly, that's when you have the greatest impact. So, as Ferdinand Fox said, the most powerful weapon on earth is a human soul on fire. So let's get fired up.
I love that. You know, that's funny. I actually just saw that movie called Soul on Fire. And yeah, it was a crazy story, but it definitely reminded me of that. And it's just that fire that you feel within when you are doing what you're passionate about. Like, I know I felt that a few different times throughout my life. You know, because I actually, when I was in the Marine Corps, I used to speak in front of Marines all the time. So, but yeah, so okay, well, that was definitely a great way to end it. So we will end the episode right there. Unless you have any last things you want to say to our audience.
Well, thank you for having me here. I really enjoyed this.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming too. I definitely I love doing this podcast just because I love the energy and just being in the frequency. You know, it's always like uplifting. So I love it. All right. Well, you guys have a great rest of your day.